God. I need water. But not this water. I want like, I don't know. This one just tastes better. I don't know. Yeah, it's yummy. Okay. Every time. No, it's so funny. Like, why? Like, I don't even know what it. I feel like there's a glitch. No, I think there's I think there's a reason for this. I think there's a reason for it. I forgot what it was, but I think there was an explanation for this. Find out that Dylan does not, in fact, yell Dylan during her chain attack. I think she does, but she has to be, because you guys know that, like, if you're the first, second, or third in the chain sequence, you have a different voice line for each. So, like, so there's some lines you probably just never hear because you never do, like, that character's chain attack in that particular order. Which makes sense, right? Dylan! Like, let me think. I usually, whenever I do a chain attack on Evelyn, I hear, don't cross the line, or nothing breaches my defense. But which chain attacks do I never hear? So, I hear...
Nothing breaches my defense.
Right, and I hear...
Don't cross the line.
But have you ever heard these?
Sorry, no one gets past me.
What the fuck?
Just finishing the job.
Who? What?
Full lockdown completed.
When do you hear that? That never happens.
Everything's under control.
These never happen. Like, you know what I'm saying? Because you never, like... What? Like, you would never hear those because you would never use Evelyn's chain attack like third. Like, what? Ew. What else is there?
Securing the perimeter.
That one I hear, yeah.
All exits are now sealed.
I hear that one. Let's see.
You have no means of escape.
That's like my favorite one. I like that one a lot. But yeah, you just don't hear a lot of these. It's funny.
Who do you need? Don't hesitate. Don't miss an opportunity. Precision strike initiated. So unprofessional. Neutralizing the threat. Perfect. Excellent move. Going all in. We got him. Suppress the target. Let's finish this. I'll complete the mission, even on my own. I won't back down. I'm the last line of defense. Now you'll see what happens when you harm Ms. Yao.
Oh my god. The concept of E6 Rame being a worse pickup than E2 Popo, which is also bad, but in this damaging meta. Are you going through it? Are you okay? No, like, no. Seriously, you deserve better than that. Is Better TTV doing this? Are you serious? 7TB. Why am I the only one getting targeted by the April Fool's joke? Can everybody do emotes, please? Do your favorite emotes on 7TB, Twitch, and BTTV, Better TV. Just so we can see. Oh no. Oh no, some of you are getting scammed. Oh my god, some of you are getting scammed. Oh. Oh my god, sorry. Oh my gosh. They automatically add the email at the end of my sentences. Huh. Do I have Sniffer? I do. Okay, good. I kind of realized I don't have this emote. Do I? Yeah, I'm gonna add a new one. Okay, there we go. Okay, so who wants to summarize what happened last time? Anyone? I just watched it. Well, I'm not gonna do it this time. I want you to do it. Something about the murderer not being on the same day. That's what you know what? And it's kind of elementary at this point. You know what I mean? There's something about this game that I kind of realized, you know what I mean? If you believe in your client, like, you know it's not him, right? Because you know it's not him, because you're defending him. The thing that you have to, I don't know, the fun part is like, all right, so if we know it's not him, bit by bit, you got to extract little pieces of information that deter the suspicion away from your client, right? And I was thinking about it and I was like, okay, so there was only 2 people in a room, right? There was a murder weapon and nobody else is around, right? And there's no like escape and nobody saw them leave, right? So I was just thinking about it. I was like, how the fuck are you gonna like set it up to where like the suspicion of guilt is off of you? I did not think about the body just being there and him walking in on it. I did not think about that. This game likes to do that. It's like, so what line of defense are we gonna chip away at first? So I'm kind of curious what we're gonna do next. Hello, Gina. What kept you, my dear fellow? Oh, hello, Mr. Sholmes and Gina. You sure about what you said in there? That the boss, you know, actually died the day before? It's pretty hard to swallow. Yes. I was shocked by the revelation too, Gina. As was I, possibly more shocked than both of you. It's not a competition, Mr. Sholmes. But I was more shocked than all of you put together. This is the autopsy report in question, is it? Yes, it's strange that there's no time of death noted. I suppose there's a simple explanation, or perhaps it was a deliberate omission. Oh dear, if it was deliberate, it puts me in a mind of the last case we worked on, and Dr. Scythe. I know. Anyway, it seems that on the day before, Lord Zeeks discovered his body. Inspector Gregson was investigating the Red-Headed League, so perhaps something happened with them. Come to think of it, you had trouble with the League's men too, didn't you, Mr. Sholmes? You were taken in by their trick. No. Naturally, I wasn't taken in, as you put it. My sleuth-hound interest was merely piqued slightly by the rare scent of a weekly £4 income. And that scent masks the underlying scent of deception, I suppose. The 2 criminals in question are the pair we saw being arrested yesterday, aren't they? And Mr. Sholmes' suite, I mean. That's right, Suze. And it was me what took him in. Thanks to a tip-off by a good, law-abiding citizen. Indeed, yours truly. So it's going to be that pair in the witnesses stand next, is it? Something doesn't quite make sense to me, though. The day before Inspector Gregson was found, you hadn't had trouble with the Red-Headed League yet, had you? Why would the inspector have been investigating them? Well, the likely explanation would be that Gregson's own sleuth-hound interest was piqued by the rare scent of a weekly £4 income. Honestly, me too. Don't tar with the same brush as you. Oh. Yeah, well, then there's the whole issue of Inspector Gregson being investigated by Lord Van Zeeks for some reason. The Reaper, the Red-Headed League, Inspector Gregson, Lord Van Zeeks, and Kazuma. I feel as though he knew we'd arrive at this point somehow. Gosh, I think you're right. What's he really trying to achieve here today? All the answers will soon be revealed. Observe the time, my dear fellow. This recess will be over very shortly. Yes, you're right. Kazuma was determined that he should be the one to prosecute this trial, and he was determined that I should take the defense. Just what is it that he's hoping to make me see, I wonder? I get the feeling we're a long way from the end of this trial yet. Are you ready then, Miss Osato? Yes. Hi, Van. This chaos stand. In the name of Her Majesty the Queen, I hereby declare this court to be in session again. We resume the closed court hearing of Barack Van Zeeks, here present, who stands accused of murder. Now then, Prosecutor Asugi. Yes, my lord? Have you summoned the witnesses as requested? Yes, the 2 members of the Red-Headed League, who planned and carried out the deception. They arrived not long ago from the local prison by the police carriage. Very good. Bailiff, usher the 2 men in the courtroom. These 2 men are currently being held by the police in suspicion of attempted extortion. You may omit your occupations, but state your names now for the court. I am Fabian de Rosal. Okay. A descendant of the great Rosal family from Nice in France. And my name is Peppino de Rossi. I'm the 3rd son of the great family de Rossi, the landowners from Napoli. The 2 men first became acquainted at a boarding school for European nobility. Those who graduate from Tumsek are the future leaders of Europe. But, do you have any idea how boring it is to be born with noble blood? Allures. I make it my mission to get the better of the world by employing the little gray cells of my brain. That is all I'm trying to do. So that's the only reason for this whole grand deception you've been clearing out? Oi, you could say that. Not bad, eh? He's got the grand ideals, but the petty plans. This strange combination is the charm of the hilarious brothers. See, Capo? Don't. That look. That's me out looking at crew. Listen to me, Peppino. I have 2 things to say to you. Chi? Are you gonna tell me about one of your grand anecdotes? Firstly, I want you to stop calling me this Capo. And secondly, we are not the hilarious brothers. This is serious business. Chi below. Okay, there it is. The Capo's trump a card. The furrowed brow. It's deep. Capo, the furrow and the meaning of your words. The court has been led to believe that under the banner of the Red-Headed League, you have conspired to swindle money from unsuspecting members of the public. Is this true? Oi. What the fuck is... Assist with a C with a 5 under it? What the fuck is that? What? Oh, what? I don't know what that is. Okay, whatever that is. Can somebody translate? Sa? Interesting. And what exactly is the nature of this deception by which you plan to defraud? Allures, I will explain it. No, Capo. Leave it to me. As you see, we both have the vivid red hair, no? At school, we were teased for this without pity. This Capo here, he was many times behind the schoolhouse, crying like the Treppy fountain. Ooh, these dogs. One day, the world will respect us redheads. Say? Not see? Oh, sorry, my bad. C'est bien, Peppino. Enough. I will explain the rest. The first step was the newspaper advertisement. About 1 week before the plan was put into operation, we listed the same notice in every paper in London. Yes, we saw that notice. It was this one, I believe, entitled to the Red-Headed League. Oi. Say sa. I am honored that you have seen it. It states that the only condition for joining the league is having flame-colored hair, and that if you satisfy the interview panel and are admitted to the league, you could receive a weekly income of £4. On the date specified, red-headed hopefuls gathered in droves at a park specified in the advertisement, and from each person present, this pair took an application fee of 5 shillings, and was the money to France. It was a plan most elegant, known? No, it was most dishonorable. But to be frank, I'm stunned anybody was foolish enough to be taken in by such an obvious trick. The park was described by one witness as choked with red-headed folk, like a coaster's orange burrow. And the day on which all of these men gathered to apply was the day before the victim was discovered. Crucially, these two men spoke face-to-face with every single person that day. Oh, what is this? Say-sa? Say-sa. Say-sa. Okay, thank you. Oi. I have seen more red-headed people in one day than I will see for the rest of my life. See. And now, every time I see the capo's hair, I feel sick to my stomach. Anyway, why have we been summoned here today? Sorry? The date for our trial was not until tomorrow, I was told. Naturally, neither of these men have been told any details about this trial. They've only been shown this photograph. Very good. So, Mr. DeRusso and Mr. DeRossi, you will now give your formal testimony to the court on the subject of the gentleman pictured in that photograph. Of course. We are always ready to help with the law. That is not... We had more than 1,000 red-headed people assemble in the park on Line Street that day. But I don't recall this man in the photograph. Eh, Capo? None. I don't remember him. Obviously, he's dead now, but I assure you, he was not in the park. Alora, this victim is nothing to do with us. You have a lot to answer for, Peppino. It's all your fault that we got caught in the first place. How is that part of the testimony? You have given sworn testimony that this man in the photograph was not present. Can you be certain? Oi. I am quite certain we did not interview with this man. Nobody looking like this came to the park. This I can promise. This must be noted. It must be noted that you have been arrested for a grand deception, however. Accordingly, this court has little confidence in your assurances. Oofa. With this attitude, we get nowhere, hon. He's really just sulking now. This confidential document was obtained directly from Scotland Yard. It records an entry from the inspector's private diary dated the day before the incident. It reads, Lime Street, Red-Headed League, undercover. I have the answer. Maybe there was another similar event on the... Okay. That is ridiculous. There is no question that Inspector Gregson was investigating the Red-Headed League, which means it's quite possible that's when he was killed. Very well, the defense may proceed with the cross-examination now. Alright, here we go. Yeah, shut up, hold it. 1,000 people. That is a lot of people. It was quite a spectacle. Red-headeds had come all over the capital. From all over the capital. See, the capo here, he has the magnetismo animale, eh? Oh, fuck. Nobody else could attract so many people. If I could be born again, I would be the capo. All those people wanted the money. All I wanted was money, Peppino. The £4 per week. Are you suggesting that you spoke personally with all 1,000 applicants? Oi, oi, that we did, because every one of them paid us 5 shillings. We take their names, and we take their money, and we take their addresses as well. Then I tell them we take some days to let them know by a post. Finito? Maybe 2 minute, what the fuck? Maybe 2 minuti a person? Jesus Christ. We start early in the morning and we stop late at night. So you earn 5,000 shillings in one day? Like, what the fuck? Who would have thought that there was 1,000 such gullible redheads in London to start with? One of whom was a great detective with chemically altered hair. I know it's 2 minutes in Italian, but I don't like, the only Italian I know is I don't need Italians. Hold it! He doesn't look at all familiar. No, I don't think so. And with this wig, he was trying to trick us. I don't like people who are trying to trick other people. What? Says the con artist. If between them they interviewed 1,000 people with red hair, it would be unreasonable to expect them to remember every face. No, Signor. Yeah, I may be small, but my memory is very large. I never forget a thing. In my opinion, I don't think this man was in the park, but he's not going to give a court a definite, it seems. Hey, Capo? You didn't see a man like this, huh? Old English, like European, it just kill me now. But according to what you said, you spoke with 1,000 or more people that day. Oi, that is true. My eyes were burning by the end of the day. Surely then, you can actually remember every single face. How are you so certain that this particular person wasn't present? Normally, the red hair is very distinctive, eh? But not when you have 1,000 redheads crowding around. Then it's just an eyesore. But if there was some other information you could give us, maybe we could recall. That is not the line, Peppino. Remember, we don't remember him. We are sure of that fact, though. If there was a man with a red hairpiece, but his mustache did not match the color, then I don't think I could have forgiven him. Cosima said that these two had only been shown that photograph and had been told nothing else at all. But what if I fed them just one more detail about the victim? For example, I can certainly appreciate that just not knowing the man had red hair wouldn't help you remember in this situation. But what if I told you that the man was always munching on a pack of fiction chips? Do you remember a man who was eating incessantly? Not really. I was only looking at the heads of the applicants. I wouldn't have noticed fish and chips more than the caviar or smoked salmon. Or spaghetti. Me, I love spaghetti. Really, I had no idea. Okay, let me go back. Hold it! Occupation. Name? Well, you did take names, right? I guess I would have remembered if he was a, I guess they would have remembered he was a detective, right? Hold it! It would appear that he found your notice in the paper suspicious and decided to investigate incognito. Sorry. Oh!
Excuse me.
Something to add, Mr. DeRossi? Yeah, see. I'm always adding something. Parmesan, olive oil, pepper. Bitch, let me get some. Ooh, hold on. What I mean is, did you not agree with your friend's last remark by any chance? Eh? What did you just say about the detective? Yes, that. Keep your mouth shut, Peppino. You've already said enough. But why, Capo? What's the problem? There was a man who said, I am an inspector from Scotland Yard. What? Oh. Oh. I love information that I love everyone going like, oh my god, to information. It's always so good. The collective. Explain this wallet face and your testimony witness. It's simple. A man who was at the... It's simple. A man who was at the park said to us that he was an inspector. There was no such man. Madai. What are you saying, Capo? Have you forgotten? I have forgotten nothing. Nobody like this came to the park. Basta, Capo, basta. You beat me at many things, but not two. Memory and the meals. Like I said, when it's time to eat the pasta, no one is a faster. But you are inferior to me in every other way, so shut up. Trop tard. The damage is done. Indeed it is, sir. Oi, there was a man who came to the park and said he was an inspector from Scotland Yard. We're gonna have to kill everybody who lies in this game. I'm sorry. What if I said that, like, if you lie in court, I'm gonna put you in a meat grinder? Unless it was, you know, to protect someone innocent, okay? If that's not the reason, you're going in a meat grinder. Sorry. Stop wasting my time. However, he looked nothing like the man in the photograph. He looked like someone else. How can you be so sure? Because, to start with, the face is completely different. Yes, it's true, it's true. The man who came was younger. His face was clean-shaven, his eyes were sadder, his chin was thinner. No resemblance whatsoever then? Anyway, I was not going to be fooled. I took the obvious precaution and said to him, if you are really a detective, show us the proof. See, the capo here, he doesn't take no nonsense. But he was well prepared. He had identification. Identification? You mean official police inspector's identification? That is most unconvincing. Sorry, my lord? Counsel, no incognito inspector would offer his identification for inspection. It's quite out of the question. Definitely. Why would he expose his true identity? Clearly, the papers were fake. Okay. As we say in Italia, it takes a thief to recognize another. And what happened after he announced he was a detective? He became very annoying. He said, "You are under investigation." So I took his papers from him and chased him out of the park. You chased what? You chased a detective out of the park? So you stole it from the man? He had it coming. He made us very scared. But he was not who he said he was. Indeed, the person described does not appear to have behaved as a true inspector would. However, I believe it would be prudent for these identification papers to be entered into evidence. Okay. Let's actually take a look. Metropolitan Police warrant card. Okay. Can we open it? Who's this supposed to be? This might gag me. Tobias Gregson. What? What? Is this real? Is it real? I know it seems incredible, but yes. I think this is a genuine identification book issued by Scotland Yard. But that's unbelievable. It's a real thing? Why would you have that? I could object, but I'll give it a second.
Hold it! Hold it!
A holy punishment. Running odds. Okay, well, I think I know what I need to object to. He was not in the park. That doesn't make sense. He was in the park, given the fact that he have his identification right here.
Objection!
I wonder if I could ask you to examine his identification book very closely. Miss Lestrade? Why Miss Lestrade? What is your intention here, counsel? Is this really a fake, or is it genuine? That is the question, which we cannot answer ourselves. Don't be ridiculous. No Scotland Yard detective would allow his or her identification to be stolen. That is the boss's. No question about it. It can't be. As I suspected. The undercover detective who attended the Red-Headed League's enrollment on the day in question was the real Inspector Gregson carrying out an incognito investigation. Why? Order. But if the boss had his identification stolen, he would have reported it straight away. I mean, he was always on me about it. If you lose something, report it at once, he'd say. Could it be, then, that the inspector was physically unable to report it? Physically? Oh, what are you saying? Unable to? You're not suggesting. Yes, it's quite possible that he was killed before he had a chance to report his identity stolen. Order. The defense... Oh. Posits. That's a new one. Posit refers to the act of assuming, affirm, or proposing a theory, fact, or idea on the basis for reasoning or argument.
Posit.
Posit. Okay. A postulation. Let's see. Assumed as fact. Put forward as the basis of an argument. Interesting.
Posit.
A posit. Okay. Assume as a fact. Okay. Let's see. The Confucian view posits a perfectible human nature. Interesting. Assumes as fact. I need more sentences with that. That's a new one. She posits a different theory at the beginning of every chapter. The professor posits Cohen in his second category of poets. In fact, considerable evidence posits that time travel is impossible, he said. Interesting. That's a new one. Alright. Okay. The defense posits, okay, makes the assumption that the victim was killed on the day before his body was discovered at a different location. Do you two have anything to say about that? Oh no. Y'all need to get it together. Stop your whining and start talking. I believe the court will need to hear your story considerably in greater detail. I know nothing. I done nothing. But you will tell everything, or face the worst possible outcome. You will dry your eyes and testify again about these identification papers and the precise circumstances under which you came by them. For crying out loud. Z, the truth is, we took him prisoner and kept him... We took him prisoner and kept him for a night in our secret hideout. What? Oh my... Okay. Even though I didn't think he was a real detective, I was too scared to let him go that day, just in case. We took the man's identification from him and shut him up in the room next to ours. There might have been a little tussle, but we did him no harm, and next morning we let him go. He spent all night in a nice room. It was nothing like a prison, really. What the fuck? This is outrageous. You imprisoned the man? But no, see, no. It was not like a prison. It was a very comfortable and calm and happy. Eh, Capo? It was never part of my plan, I swear it. Oofa, so you think it was my fault, eh? Just because I got the date of the ferry wrong. By one little a day. I don't think it was your fault, Peppino. I know it. No, no, no. Per favore, Capo. It's not a fair. You shall have plenty of time for squabbling back at prison, gentlemen. I don't believe this. How could he have been a real detective? Counsel for the defense, proceed with the cross-examination. So on the day before the incident, Gregson spent the night confined in this pair's hideout. Why? I mean, not why, but like... Yeah, stop the crying, hold it. What's going on with this? Do you realize what you're saying? You have to believe me. I never intended for that to happen. And I'm sure the detective didn't intend it either. Do you think? But there was nothing else I could do. See, nothing else. It was the first crime for the capo. He was at the end of its wits, or his wits. I've told you before, Peppino. That is not the way to describe a criminal mastermind. What about this hideout of yours? An old, empty house behind the park on Lime Street. We rented the place for 2 days. It was an inspired idea by the capo here. An impulsive idea, I would say. No, not impulsive, inspired. Eh, capo? What am I supposed to say to that? Huh, Pepito? And it was in the house described that you confined Inspector Gregson, was it? Ugh, yes. But you had to remember, I was under the impression that he was a pretender, not a real inspector. That doesn't quite add up, though. If you didn't think that the man was a real inspector, there would have been no reason to take him prisoner, would there? No, you're right. But we couldn't be completely certain. Even though I didn't think he was a real detective, I was too scared to let him go that day, just in case.
Hold it!
To be too scared? Why? Because why had he had come to the park? We didn't know. There was a chance he had seen through my plan. And if that was the case, he would go straight to the police station to blow the whistle on us. Even if he was just feigning to be an inspector, he was up to no good. Without a doubt. I think most people would agree that it was you two who were up to no good. Well, you may be right. Eh, Capo? The point is, we were not able to escape from England immediately. That's why we had no choice but to take the man prisoner. What I don't understand is why the inspector felt the need to show you his identification in the first place. I asked myself the same question. We were writing down the names and addresses of all the people we took 5 shillings from that day. I have forgotten what name he said, but the address, it startled me. Yes, the address, Scotland Yard, Homicide Division, he said. What? He probably didn't like your face, Peppino. Anyway, I was not rude. I politely asked him why he said it. And that's when he started to say he was an inspector. Not long afterwards, he took out his identification. What was Inspector Gregson playing at? To tell the court, yeah. He took it back to the hideout, yeah. I can't say.
Hold it!
That being his identification book here, correct? Yes, that's the one. What made you believe that it was a forgery? I never seen a real one, of course. But he was so suspicious, this man. I was thinking, it must be falso. Eh, Capo? Oh wait, it's just as Peppino said. We were convinced that it was not genuine. And so together, the hilarious brothers, we took the man captive. All we did was shove him inside a locked room. We made preparations to transport all the money. For a penny and for a pound. There might have been a little tussle. A tussle?
Hold it!
A tussle? What do you mean by a little tussle exactly? Oh, it was nothing. Just a minor incident. The false inspector, he was a real piece of work, eh, Capo? What happened? Oofa, it was a disaster. We given him a nice room, and what does he do? In the middle of the night, he tries to escape through the Ventilor. Can you blame him? We chased him. Bien, sir. Swear? Okay. And we caught him again. Can you blame us? You didn't shoot the man in your haste, did you? Who do you think we are? Of course not. I simply caught hold of him again and took him back to the room. Oh my god, what do you have to say? Excuse me. Mr. DeRossi, is something wrong? Hey, me? Something Mr. DeRosso just said seemed to make you, well, it seemed to make you act even more stranger than usual. What's that all about? At times like that, you don't want to have the capo after you, believe me. I speak from personal experience. Personal experience? That is enough, Peppino. There is no need to say more. The truth is, the night before we pulled the Red-Headed League into action, I was scared. It was not fair to the capo, but I tried to run away. It's a shame he didn't manage it. But the capo here, he came after me like a turbine, and he dragged me back to the house, kicking and screaming. I still have the bruises to prove it. Eh, capo? Are they around your neck? Oh my god, those are the same bruises that Gossip has. Why does Gossip have the same bruises? What did you do? That's enough now, Peppino. No one wants to look at any part of you. What to do? I show you, or I don't? I show you, or I don't? You do, now. Oh, well, everyone wants to see, then I do it. Echo, you see? It's still very visible, hey? That red ring around your neck, that's when you got dragged back to the house? See, the capo is sometimes very rough, and I said that's enough. Did you get the wrong person back? Peppino's neck is nothing to do with what we were talking about here. You have my word. Yes. What is your opinion, Council? About this red ring around his neck. Does it matter? Oh, it's very important. Mr. DeRossi, I'm going to have to ask you to omit your testimony with details about that mark on your neck. Hey, Capo, you see? Everybody's interested in what I say, Ugh. He tried to escape, but the capo put the collar on him and dragged him back. Like what he did to me, see? But I don't see that. I don't see those marks on his neck. Okay, let's press. Hold it. A collar made from leather. A dog collar? We had a Saint Bernard at home when I was younger. Oh my god, you collared these people? It's a souvenir at the... Oh my god. With the very... You put a dog collar and a chain on these poor innocent people. Oh my... Oh! A strong chain. And you put that around your friend's neck? I'm sorry, I was so angry he was leaving me alone. Oh my god. You didn't do that to impress Inspector Gregson as well, did you? Treat the people equal. That's the Capo here's motto, eh? It's starting to sound a lot more like a prison all of a sudden. The Capo's tough, but the Capos are rough. Ugh, I shouldn't have done it. So the following morning when he released the inspector, he had a red ring around his neck, just like me. Peppino, leave it now. Interesting. Okay, I see a contradiction here. I'm gonna have to present the crime scene photo, I think. Alright, I have an idea. He would have still had been able to wind up his watch. I agree. I think I present this.
Objection.
So the day before his body was discovered, Inspector Gregson was taken prisoner while working incognito. No, it was not like that. It was hardly a prison. It was an invitation to stay. It was homely. However you describe it, there is one glaring inconsistency that remains. What inconsistency is this, Counsel? I would like to ask the court to look closely at this photograph of the victim, Inspector Gregson. You will see that there is no red ring visible around his neck. But that makes no sense. It was me who took the collar off the man in the morning. And I saw the red bruises on his neck, just like I have. Given that the remark is still clearly visible on the witness's neck, we'd expect to see bruising on the victim, who was put in the collar more recently than Mr. DeRossi. Indeed, that is most peculiar. But what we tell you... We say this from the beginning, many times. Peppino is right. The man in the photograph is someone different from the man we held captive at night. I have an idea who it is. It would appear, then, that on the day before the incident, the man who visited the park on Line Street posing as an incognito inspector was not Inspector Gregson at all. I agree, it was Gossip who took his ID.
Objection.
If that's true, however, how do you explain the inspector's identification? This is a genuine identification book issued by Scotland Yard. It's inconceivable that somebody could have stolen such an important item from the inspector. The prosecution has made that assertion itself. And we also know that the inspector had made a note about the Red-Headed League in his diary for that day, which surely means we can't divorce the two events completely. The inconsistency noted by the defense is most troubling. If it were the real Inspector Gregson, whom these two red-headed gentlemen encountered, the fact that no bruising can be seen around his neck defies explanation. But equally, if they actually encountered an imposter, how did that person come to be in possession of the real inspector's identification? Does the defense have some plausible explanation, Counsel? The whole thing defies explanation. It's for precisely these occasions we keep meticulous notes in the court record, Mr. Naruhado, because those are the facts, and the facts cannot lie. No, the facts can't lie. Even when they point to something so incredible, it's almost unbelievable. Well, my lord, the true identity of the person who turned up in the park for the Red-Headed League's enrollment is revealed by information in the court record, I believe. Good gracious. Very tantalizing, Mr. Naruhado. So why don't you help us all to see whatever truth it is that you've apparently seen? Who exactly is the inspector that appeared in Mr. DeRosso, before Mr. DeRosso and Mr. DeRossi? An imposter! Though it seems incredible, I admit, the undeniable facts only point to one thing. Since no bruising can be seen on the victim's neck, the person who those two red-headed men took prisoner that day cannot have been Inspector Gregson. In other words, your whole argument up to now has been a waste of time. On the contrary, I haven't finished. What? There's no bruising on the victim's neck, so the question immediately posed next is, who exactly was the man in the park on Line Street found to be carrying Inspector Gregson's identification? See, that's right. We say I have the same story every time. Whoever this man was, the capo dragged him from a pillar to a post with a dog collar. Ugh. I know. Clearly the defense has an idea about that. About the true identity of the man those two men imprisoned that night. I must ask the counsel for the defense to elaborate post-haste. Who did the witness encounter in the park posing as Inspector Gregson?
Take that!
Goodness me, isn't that one of the witnesses who was in the stand in this very courtroom earlier today? The nameless man whose only occupation appears to be peddling hearsay to passersby.
Objection!
What on earth would a street seller be doing with a police inspector's identification papers? Witnesses, is it this man or not? What happened to his lip? See, this man is not for the Red-Headed League, eh? He's looking for the Twisted Lip League, no? Perhaps, rather than making such a rash claim next time, you should bite your lip instead. It seems improbable, yes, but one undeniable fact still remains. During his testimony earlier, I noticed something about the man's neck. A red ring of bruising. What? The defense demands that Mr. Gossip be brought back to the stand. Order, order. Bailiff, bring the aforementioned witness back to the courtroom immediately. There's no way, right? Daily Vigil. Okay, something stupid just came across my mind, but it's probably not the case. But it's Gossip? Evie? Something's not sitting right with my soul. Why was this in the room? He appears to have no particularly distinctive facial features. Is Gossip him? But the nose is so different. Gossip? Who is Gossip? Well, I never. An undeniable ring of bruising indeed. And identical to that of the witness behind him. Now, what's going on here, eh? I've always had this, me. It's a birthmark. Isn't it? A birthmark, you say? I assume the reason you've been recalled to the stand has been explained to you? Something about an inspector again? But I'm telling you, you got it all wrong as usual. You're denying all knowledge of it. Well, of course I am. Are you trying to kill me with all this nonsense? Well, at least you'll have more stories to peddle back on Fresno Street, won't you? Now, we're gonna need you to testify again. And you, Mr. DeRosso and Mr. DeRossi, I'm sure you'll cooperate, won't you? Do we have any choice? We're in big trouble, eh, Capo? This man who claimed to be an inspector that day was definitely not... The man who claimed to be an inspector that day was definitely not this man. It's right, see. You think we'd forget those grand lips? I never leave Fresno Street, alright? I have no interest in any red-headed league. I'm all alone in the world, me. I have no kinfolk or nothing. Why would I be involved in something like that? Just look at me, eh? Does it look like I could carry off with a disguise with a face like this? It would certainly appear we have the wrong man. What have I been telling you, huh? There was no need for this pointless testimony. That's right, I'm a simple peddler. Remember, Fresno Street's all I know. How would I have come by a police inspector's identification book, eh? Well, yes, that's hard to explain, but... A brief cross-examination, I think, counsel. Very brief. Is there anyone in this courtroom who thinks I might be onto something? I stand steadfastly by your side, as always, Mr. Naruhado.
Hold it!
Hold it!
I don't know about this. I don't imagine I'll forget those lips in a hurry either. I was born in Fresno Street and never left. Oh, that sucks.
Hold it!
Hmm. Hmm.
Is that so?
You won't catch me sliding off to some other part of town. No, sir, not likely.
Excuse me.
Mr. Rosal. Yes, what is it? Did Mr. Goss's word just now lead you to remember something relevant, perhaps? Rousseau. Okay, yeah. It was the other day when I was looking for a place near the park, a small house or something, to be the headquarters of your Red-Headed League, yes? I visited the housing agent on Lime Street. And there I saw him. This man was paying money to the agent. What? Mr. Gossip with a housing agent? Oi, he had some kind of contract in his hand, and they were clearly discussing terms. But no, you're mistaken, chum. I never left Fresno Street, me. Like I said before, you were mistaking me for someone else. Someone with the same face. Who's got the same face as you, buddy? No, the capo's right. I remember it too. He was paying the man with banknotes. With notes? Like I said, it wasn't me. I was curious why this man with the dirty clothes had so much money. So I looked at the name on the papers. Oh no. Oh no. Was it Hugo? He tells you he has no name. Hugh Boone. Oh my god. Hugh Boone. I'm a peddler of tidbits of information, like I said, on Fresno Street, and that's that. I don't like folks talking about my personal life. Indeed. It is not the intention of the court to invade the privacy of witnesses. Very well, I shall respect your wishes, sir. What the fuck? I object!
Objection.
Yeah? I'm sorry, my lord, but the defense does object. Because that name just mentioned has a very deep significance to the case. Yeah, the fuck it does. I have nothing in my court record about it, though. Fuck. Goodness gracious. Do you similarly object, Prosecutor Asogi? As it happens, my lord, that particular name has already been mentioned during today's proceedings. Well, I never. In what capacity? Hugh Boone, or Boone, is the name of the leaseholder of the room. Let me put this very simply. The victim's body was discovered in your rented room. I suggest, sir, that you start talking. Well, all right. I suppose that might be the case. What's... So your real name is Hugh Boone? Well, just between us, I don't like to blow the own trumpet, but there's no finer peddler of tidbits in town. So I happen to be able to afford a grubby little room in a falling down backstreet townhouse. You do? And once every 6 months, I go and pay the rent to the agent on Lime Street. I remember now. There were 2 vulgar redheads in there last time. If any of us is vulgar, it's not me. Think again, Peppino. Why didn't you bring this up before? It's like I told you already. I don't like talking about my personal life. I'm a tidbit peddler as far as anyone else is concerned. No fuss. Yeah, that's not gonna work. You will update your testimony to include this most surprising revelation, Mr. Boone. So the leaseholder Scotland Yard has been looking for, since the body was discovered, has been here under our noses all along. I remember the room where that fellow was found, it's true, for what difference it makes. What?
Hold it!
Because why was he in your house, buddy? You live in that room, presumably, do you? No, I don't live there. What do you think? There's no bed, is there? It's just a desk. Then, why would you want to rent it? Well, I don't think I should have to say, really. I think I'm gonna kill you. How's about that? Why was this photo in here? This is you, buddy. This is you, buddy. You're a big old liar. Did you have a nose lift? This is an old gun. The old gun was found in the room 10 years ago. What's his name was dismissed, right? So this was before that point. So if this is given to members of the judiciary, I don't know if a prison guard would necessarily count in that, but if this gun is 10 years old, it was found in there, and this dude has been fired 10 years ago. We don't know who the hell he is. Maybe this is what he's been doing all the time? Okay, I have to pee. I have to pee, and I want to go grab some bulgogi downstairs. I'm gonna go get it, so I'll be right back. I don't know, it's looking a little weird. Okay, I'm back. Took some orange juice, some almond milk, some bulgogi, some rice, an egg, some raisins. Wait, what is this song? Wait, hold on. All right, Mulbert. Okay. I've been thinking about this. About this guy when I was eating. I was like, how did he... Is it him? And did he change his face? I don't know. Anyway, how about the notice board then? Which was covered from top to bottom in confidential documents only the police should have access to. No, that board's not mine. The inspector must have brought it along. It's only the bits and bops that... All right, that's all I needed. All right, back to those. Anyway, what? Okay, what happened? With how much Ace loves these rhythm games, it's weird how we never saw his scores for the AOD event. Oh, don't worry. Those are my little, like, grandma, like, my little phone games. So I was like, hold on, wait. Wait, can we go back and do it? We can go back and do it, right? Yeah. Anyway. It would be all but impossible to hide those lips with any form of disguise. Perhaps yes, but nevertheless, the mark around his neck is equally undeniable. And it's identical to the one that Mr. DeRossi suffered. But why does this whole idea, Oh, wait, what? Okay. For what difference does it make? I have no kinfolk. Then why would this be there?
Hold it!
You have no family. I don't know, buddy. I'm alone in this world and I've got no kinfolk, but if the room is yours, why is there an image of someone in this picture frame?
Objection!
If you have no kinfolk, as you put it, then explain why it is that among the sparse furnishings, we found this photograph in the room. I presume, as you've been renting the room, that this photograph belongs to you, does it not? Oh, well... Mr. Boone, drop the pretense. Tell the court exactly who you really are. I don't know what you mean. I'm a peddler. I keep telling you so. You really don't need to bother with me. Please just leave it alone. As the man says, leave it alone. Whether the truth is about this man's life, it has no bearing on this case, because it's simply not possible that he impersonated Inspector Gregson. How can you be so sure? Just look at the man. No amount of disguise could ever hide those unmissable features. But what if we were to look at this the other way around? What do you mean? Yes, counsel, what do you mean? Well, there's no denying that Mr. Boone's lip is very prominent indeed. But consider the possibility that his prominent lip itself is part of an elaborate disguise. Then, hiding that prominent feature, in other words, revealing his true face, would make an utterly impossible, an utterly impenetrable disguise. Wouldn't you agree, Mr. Hugh Boone? Good witness. What? Are you still hiding the truth from this court? If that's a disguise, then underneath it, his true identity must be... Yes, that's right. There's really only one person it could be. My lord, the defense believes it can reveal Mr. Boone's true identity to the court. No, please, no. Very well then, counsel. What is the true identity of this peddler who simply goes by the name of Gossip on the street? It's gotta be you.
Take that!
Your real name is actually Mr. Vigil, isn't it? Mr. Daily Vigil. I don't remember the name, counsel. Who is this Mr. Vigil? It's a name I encountered yesterday, my lord. It has to do with a certain client of Mr. Herlock Sholmes. A young gentlewoman came to the detective, asking him to locate her missing husband. The woman in this photograph, in fact, this is Miss Vigil. What? From what I understand, you haven't returned home since the night before the inspector was found dead. But of course, on that night, you were being held captive by the two red-headed men. Oh, so you couldn't have returned home. Yeah, that makes sense. That's a good line of logic. And last night, you were put up by the prosecution service in preparation for testifying in this trial, because we've been led to believe that you, Miss Venus, and Mr. Sandwich were all homeless. Being important witnesses in this case, we needed to know where we could find you, of course. And that explains why you've not only been unable to return home, but also unable to contact your wife, who's been beside herself with worry, waiting for you to return at the Vigil residence. Now, you just hold on a minute. I don't have the first idea what I'm talking about. Really? It's a simple enough matter to confirm my suspicions. All we have to do is pull off that disguise. Bailiff, bring soap, a sponge, and a washbowl at once. Mr. DeRosso and Mr. DeRossi, you will restrain the witness. Wait, why am I in it? Looks like I was right. Looks like I was right, but what does this imply? Well, that implies a lot of things. That means this is now tied to him. Like, this is tied to this and to this. How did you know these two? Personally, and how did you have history with Venus and Sandwich? Who is Venus? That's another thing. Who the fuck is Venus? Who the fuck is Sandwich? This dismissal notice also is now contextualized as well. That means he's also connected to Asogi's father. He's also connected to... Wow. He's also connected to Genshin's case. And Banzik's brother. He's connected to a lot of things, actually. Mm. Mm-mm-mm. Mm-mm-mm. Well, that's not good. Well, we are now seeing your true features, I presume. Lift your head, sir, so the court can see your face. It would appear that the defense counsel's assertion was entirely correct. This has all been a very elaborate deception. So, witnesses, tell the court, have you seen this man before? I don't believe it, but... See, there is no question. This is the inspector we saw in the park. And how the fuck did he get access to this, then? Weren't you fired 10 years ago? How would somebody fired... Extraordinary. You made him homeless. Well, that was his fault. He shouldn't have been in court. On the day of the Red-Headed League enrollment, the man claiming to be Inspector Gregson appeared before Mr. DeRosso and Mr. DeRossi in the park. Was you disguised as Inspector? Or rather, was you posing as the Inspector and no disguise at all? Mr. Vigil was formerly employed as a chief warder at Barclay Prison. The chief warder? Then your career had promise. Why would you have quite possibly... Why you could have... Why you could quite possibly have become the future governor of the prison. What on earth have you been peddling? Have you been doing peddling tattletale? What on earth have you been doing peddling tattletales Jesus Christ. What on earth have you been doing? Peddling tittle tattle on Fresno Street. What the fuck? Well, it's been 10 years since Mr. Vigil worked at the prison. 10 years. I'm really dreadfully sorry about all of this. Yes, it's true. I'm Daily Vigil. And you were the chief warder at Barclay Prison 10 years ago? So where did Mr. Hugh Boone come from? Boone is the other me. It's a name I invented. Well, evidently there is a great deal under the surface here. I'll explain everything. I'll tell you just how wretched my life has become. As you say, it was 10 years ago now that my employment at Barclay Chief Warder had come to an end. Having left the prison service, I searched for some new occupation by which to earn a wage. But times were hard in London, and I found no suitable engagement at all. In desperation, one day, I turned my hand at selling wares on Fresno Street. But your wife appears to know nothing of this. She still maintains that you are the chief warder at Barclay Prison. I was utterly determined that my wife should not know of my failings, which is why I've never told her. I opened an account at the bank under the name of Hugh Boone, and I rented the cheapest room I could find on Fresno Street. The scene of the crime we're investigating. Yes, that's right. A place from which I could emerge every morning at 8 as a squalid peddler, and transform myself back every evening at 5 into a well-dressed man about town before returning home. Is it bad that I thought gossip was like it could be daily or it could be Evie? It could be one of the two. Oops. My bad. Wait, when did I start suspecting him? I gotta watch the VOD. When did I start suspecting him? Pretty early. I know, I'm trying to think of what it was that like tipped me off on it. There was something that made me like, why was she your first guest? Because I thought like it could have been one of those things where it was like, this is what I used to look like when I was pretty. Or something. I don't know. She could have had like a secret agent life. I don't know. The red ring. The red ring. The red ring. The red ring. Oh, yeah. Okay, yeah. The collar mark. Yeah. That quickly became my daily routine. I was puzzled by the lack of furniture in the room, but that explains it. But why on earth didn't you just tell us this in the first place? I have a wife, sir, and 2 sons. And without wishing to sound self-conceited, they regard me with some pride. I couldn't bring myself to disappoint them. So instead, you decided to conceal your occupation from them? Yes. I've made such a terrible mess of everything. Still, one thing doesn't add up. No matter how many tidbits of information you could sell to passing gentlemen, even at 6 pence apiece, how the fuck did you get this piece of identification, first of all? And secondly, what the fuck is this board doing in the room? At least my evidence is starting to come together. You couldn't hope to match the salary you must have commanded as chief warder at the prison. Very true. To have kept your family in comfort despite 10 years of somewhat misbegotten employment. And renting a place. That was all thanks to Inspector Gregson. What? Inspector Gregson? What on earth? It was some years after I had invented Boone and begun my other life as a street seller. He, the inspector that is, recognized me one day. Do you mean to say that the victim was an acquaintance of yours? I knew him from my time working at the prison. When he saw what I'd become, he was deeply troubled for me and my family. And from that day forward, he visited me on Fresno Street with increasing regularity. Then one day, he asked me if I would carry out a secret assignment for him. Hi, Hellhound. A secret assignment? What was it? It was to impersonate the inspector. What? Impersonate him? We always met in that little room so the inspector could brief me. Visit Orxes tomorrow and take a statement from the proprietress. It was always something along those lines. Surveillance work, interviewing people. On those occasions, he would lend me his identification so people would believe who I was. My instructions were to make an impression, to let people know that Inspector Gregson had been at work. And for those services, he compensated me financially. The Mario movie. I've heard okay things about it. Just okay. A Scotland Yard inspector willingly relinquished his identification into your care with the intent to deceive? That, as I'm sure I need not point out, is a very serious criminal offense. But why? What was the point of you impersonating him? I truthfully do not know. All I can say is that the inspector warned me on numerous occasions. Now remember, Vigil, I need your solemn word. You don't blab about this to anyone, alright? Ever. Even if, well, I end up a croaker. In time, he started to bring papers with him to the room as well. It became something of a second office for him. So, in fact, the person who declared himself to be Inspector Gregson at the park on Line Street was really... Yes, it was me, acting on the inspector's orders. As usual, I removed my Boone disguise and then went as instructed to the park, armed with the inspector's identification book. It never occurred to me that the bruise on my neck might give me away. It's a lot to process. Oh my. Well, what now? Well, it would seem this confession completely destroys the defense's case. Oh, fuck you, bitch. I know it does. I know. Yeah, time to kill me. Explain yourself, Prosecutor Osogi. My learned friend's assertion was as followed. The victim was killed at another location on the day before his corpse was discovered, and at the hands of these two red-headed men when they imprisoned the inspector. But no, that can't be. After all, it wasn't the inspector who went to the park that day, it was me. Oh goodness. Finally, we have clarity. We had nothing to do with the murder of the inspector. And merci, Monsieur de la Défense. Thank you for proving it. Order, order, order. Indeed, it would appear that we have reached a de facto conclusion of sorts. These witnesses had no involvement in the murder of the victim. As proven, somewhat ironically, by the defense. Alvin Cheese. Alvin Cheese. That's so funny. Him just staring at me like... Him just staring at me and I'm just like... Sorry. Oopsie. Ugh. I hereby call an end to the cross-examination. Hold it.
Hold it!
Pardon me, my lord, but with your permission, I would like to pose one further question to the witness. Kazuma? What question, counsel? It concerns the events of 10 years ago. I believe you would have been present at a very significant execution that was carried out at the time. 10 years ago? The execution of the professor, Genshin Asogi. I want to know exactly what your involvement was. Oh, answer me, man. One moment, counsel. Is this related to the current case? Naturally. Ooh! It is the prosecution's belief that this case and the events of 10 years ago are inextricably linked. Does the defense concur? Kazuma, you're not yourself. You're not as calm and collected as usual. Poor Kazuma-sama. No wonder he's acting this way. Mr. Vigil's memories of what happened 10 years ago would tell the tale of Genshin Asogi's last moments, his own father. I know that. I do understand that. But even so, is this the time? Professor Asogi. Prosecutor Asogi. Do you genuinely believe that this question requires an answer in order to learn the truth behind Gregson's death? I need you to trust me. Please. We're gonna get you, big buddy. We're gonna get you. I'm gonna get you too. We're gonna get both of you, by the way. And both of you will perish for what you've done. I know it's you two. Alas, the defense has no objection. I see. In that case, you will answer the questions, witness. But the truth is, I remember very little of that time. Someone's gonna shoot him. You've forgotten. I'm sorry to say, yes. As I said, I resigned from my role at the prison 10 years ago. But for some particular reason, my memories of the event leading up to that moment is extremely hazy. What do you mean you left? I resigned my role. You did not resign from your role. Does that not strike you as strange, Mr. Naruhodo? Yes, it does. Sorry? Well, 10 years ago was a long time, but to have forgotten the reason why he left such an important job. Yeah, that sounds bullshit. And not only that, Mr. Vigil's claim contradicts what we already know. Yeah, it does. See, like, you know, they call it Ace Attorney because, like, I'm right there with them at the stand. Like, hold on. I'm right there next to Naruhodo. I'd be like, hold on. So, do you hear that shit? The human spirit is a fragile thing. It's broken all too easily, which is why we have a tendency to wrap it up for protection. Sorry? The human spirit? I'm afraid I don't understand what you mean. When we experience pain and suffering that we feel unable to bear, we block it out, obliterate it from our memories, seal it away. but it truly never leaves us. If the seal is broken, the memories resurface. And when they do, that fragile spirit may be finally crushed. But I really don't, Kazuma-sama. But if it must be crushed, then so be it, because the truth will not stay buried. It's coming out, one way or another. Right, now I understand what his intentions are. He means to expose the truth at any cost. Perhaps if I pointed out the contradiction of what Mr. Vigil's claim was earlier, it might cause some crucial memories to return to him. But should I? Should I present the evidence or not? Do I have a reason not to? I kind of want to say no. Ibika generally crushed the man's spirit. I can't be responsible for that. I don't have the right. Kazuma-sama won't rest until he knows. And this is a court of law, where nothing is more sacred than the pursuit of truth. Susato-san's right. I knew the risk when I took the decision to fight this trial. Whatever the consequences, I can't shy away from my responsibility now. I have no idea how this is going to go, but this is a court of law, and I have a duty to pursue the truth. Mr. Vigil, I'd like you to look at this. Evidence that clearly contradicts your version of events.
Take that!
Just a few moments ago, you made the following statement. I left. I resigned. You did not resign. Well, yes. In other words, you claim to have left the post of Chief Warder of your own volition. Well, yes, of course. Why? Tell me. Do you remember seeing this document before? No, I don't. This is the dismissal notice ordering the immediate termination of a prison staff member's employment. A dismissal notice? And the name on the notice is yours, Mr. Vigil. What? What? It's mine? So you didn't resign from the prison service at all? For some reason, you were dismissed as chief warder from Barclay. No, there's been some mistake. I am sure I tendered my resignation. This dismissal notice is nonsense. Isn't it? Are you okay? SpongeBob Silent Hill? Are you okay? Buddy? If you were forcibly dismissed, there must have been a good reason. Clearly, you did something. Mr. Vigil, it's time to break the seal you have to remember. According to the few remaining records, the final execution that you supervised was on June 17th, 10 years ago. And on that day, something very serious took place at Barclay Prison. The 17th of June? Was that the professor's execution? Professor? As you were the chief warder at the time, it stands to reason that you would have been present throughout the proceedings. It does sound familiar. And yet, that execution never took place. The convict, ostensibly executed earlier that day, later re-emerged from his grave. The convict came back to life. In the cemetery, in the middle of the night, there was a witness. However, the witness claims that a moment after he saw the convict clambering out of his grave, somebody shot him. That's what I'm fucking saying. Who shot him? I've been trying to figure this out for fucking 3, 4, 5 weeks. Who shot him? That is so important. Nobody is talking about this. I need to know who shot him. It's too important. Like, it's such a critical piece of information. Oh my god. Who could it have been? And the bullet pierced the professor's chest, killing him instantly. Those may have been the professor's last actual moments. Yes. Yes. Seeing as you were in charge of overseeing executions at the time, you must know the truth about what really happened. It's in your head, somewhere deep down. Well, Chief Warder, Daily Vigil, I know there are memories in your head that can explain what happened on June 17th, 10 years ago. This is gonna be so fucked. This whole audience, I feel like somebody's gonna shoot him. No, 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 no. Guys, you need to protect him. I feel like he's gonna get shot. Oh my god, he's too important. No! Oh my god! Oh no. Get his— no, don't get him. He has critical information of an unsolved case from 10 years ago. If he dies, it's like that fucking— it's like Monica in Escape's story quest. Why would you let her die? Don't let this dude die, else you're just gonna lose really critical information. Oh my god. Some mysteries need to stay mysteries. Oh, right. Okay, right. It's time for you to drag them up. Oh my god, are you okay? Mr. Vigil? Yes, the whole prison. It was complete chaos. The prisoner escaped. He was killed. In the cemetery. The shocking news ripped through Barclay like a hurricane. What? Order, order, order. Do you mean to say, Mr. Vigil, that your memories of the time have returned? My head, it's like some floodgates have been opened. The images, the screams. Oh my goodness. The papers. There were reports, articles about a man who had seen a ghost. Yes. Enoch Drebber. But surely those reports were exaggerated. There were traces at the scene. Traces of what? In Lowgate Cemetery, at plot number 139, blood. Lots of blood. That's where the man was buried, of course. Obviously, something terrible happened there. The depths of conspiracy and depravity from which this tale is emerging are quite staggering. I've reviewed the police reports from that time extensively. A thorough investigation was conducted by Scotland Yard to ascertain how the convict managed to escape in the first place. And the conclusion reached by the investigation team was that a member of the prison staff must have been involved. Are you suggesting that a prison warder abetted the man's bid for freedom? Yes, yes, and I was expected of doing it. Of using that mass murderer's execution as a way to help him escape. You did what? I remember now, the horror of it all is coming back to me. One evening, a few days after the execution, some detectives came to the prison. I was called to the governor's office at the top of the watchtower. I'm sorry, Daly. This is a serious business, but I can't help you now. As chief warder, you were responsible for overseeing the execution before, eh? Well, it seems that the fellows of Scotland Yard want to have a few wee words with you about it. You better pack your things, laddie. You're to attend in person. As soon as he told me that, my mind just went completely blank. And the next thing I knew, Uh-oh. The professor, the most hated killer in our country's history. And I let him escape. I'm finished. My life. Oh, no, 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 no. Oh, no! Can we get some medical staff? Order, order, bailiff, fetch a doctor at once. Court is adjourned for today with immediate effect.
So, with Mr. Vigil's collapse, proceedings came to an abrupt end for the day. Once again overshadowed by the legacy of that notorious killer, appearing like a cursed ghost ship on a foggy ocean. Lord Van Zeeks, Mr. Vigil, Kazuma, and Gregson. All of them bound by invisible chains anchored to the same wreckage in the murky depths of the past.
It's not even just that, too. I think there's more to this than that. There's Dr. Scythe. There's Iris as well. Thinking about her as well. And I guess Sholmes by extension. And us. Gina. Pretty much everyone's involved here. You. I don't know about you. I have to think about the... Yes, actually, yeah, because you were here. So you and you. You. Yep, you. Yep, I guess, yep, that makes sense. Everyone's involved.
But the miraculous light that had been trying to cut through the gloom and shine on those tragic events.
Cut the gloom, huh?
Was playing on the edges of the truth at last.
Oh my god, it's getting so dramatic. Ben, how long is this next part? Long? Oh dear god. Okay, so we should probably do it next time. Well, who's invested? Because I am. Girl, stop the fucking game! Oh my. I want more. Damn, y'all want more? I kind of want more too. I'll go. You know what? I'll go a little further. How's about that? I need to talk to let's get to the point where we talk to Van Zeeks again. Yeah, I guess we are leaving Scott here too. Yeah, you know what? We are kind of leaving Scott behind, aren't we? Because he's asleep. You know what? Well, after the Sholmes section? Okay, fine. I still can't quite believe what happened. I know. I inquired with the bailiff after the court session was adjourned. Okay. Mr. Vigil was taken to the hospital to recover. Right. 10 years ago now, Mr. Vigil attempted to commit suicide by jumping out of the window of the prison governor's office. But ever since then, he's completely blocked the memory of those events from his mind. Oh my god, he Kate Marshed. Nobody knew his secret, not his family, not even the man himself, but I, forced it out into the open. Was it wrong of me to do that? Did I overstep the mark, I wonder? Honestly, I would kind of say yes. Oops. I mean, I think actually yes. But, you know, I'll get over it. Runo? Oh, Iris. You're miles away. Anyway, I brewed a fresh pot of tea for you. Oh, thank you. Well, no, I mean, like, he lied because he wasn't he kind of required to? Because of what the deceased told him to do? It's not like, I mean, his personal motivation, I mean, he did lie to his family about, like, it being fired. But he also couldn't really reveal what was going on with Gregson. But I guess at the same time, well, Gregson did tell him to even keep it quiet when he died. I don't know. If somebody tells you to, like, keep something secret even if I die, am I just supposed to be like, well, wait, am I just supposed to, I mean, well, like, well, yeah, I guess I should. Yeah, I guess that's fair. Yeah, but that does feel a little bad, though. I'd have to spend some time sitting on my feelings about that one after doing it, because I think it would have made the most sense to reveal that information, but I really would have felt it bad. I don't know, I really would have felt bad. But I guess at the same time, it is helping find out how he perished too, which is unclear. So I guess it kind of evens out in a sense. It was Kazuma who did it. I guess it's fair, yeah. You know. Kazuma did hold it, yeah. Yeah, that's a good point. He shouldn't be suppressing that, yeah. He should have all this stuff out in the open. I guess that's fair, yeah. But being forced out in such a way, Jesus Christ. At least it was a closed court, oh my god. Oh, thank you, Iris. How thoughtful of you. You know, I still haven't forgotten it, by the way. The game thinks I forgot. But I haven't forgotten. Have you forgotten? Do you remember that bloody bracelet that we found in Soseki's room? That Shanspear was trying to get? Do you remember that? I still haven't forgotten about that. It wasn't a bracelet? What was it then? I thought it was like a... Wait, what was it? It was a collar, yes. Now, why was that collar important? Do you think you're gonna go back to it? Well, I guess we're gonna have to come back to it. It was such a big deal. Do you happen to know where Mr. Sholmes is? When we came out of the courtroom, back to the defendant's antechamber, he disappeared. Oh no, I don't know. He suddenly sprang on his feet and left. All he said was, "I must leave." Uh-oh. I wonder if he's pursuing the mystery of Inspector Gregson's death. He probably is going to go talk to what's-her-name? The client. Well, you know what Hurley's always saying, don't you? There are mysteries in this world that should perhaps never be solved. For the construction of a solution comes only at the expense of the destruction of something else. Hmm. What does that mean? Maybe he's not happy with you, but he knows very well that when you open up someone else's old wounds, you often open up your own too. But he can't just take his own advice and leave well alone. Solving mysteries is too important to him. That's so true. What a meta conversation, what the fuck? He knows very well when you open someone else's old wounds, you often open up your own too. But he can't just take his own advice and leave well alone. Solving mysteries is too important to him. That's so true. But that's what I like about Hurley after all. I suppose that's the lot of a great detective in some ways. This game has good writing. What? So then, let's have tea, and then I'll give you a hand. Thank God. Oh, you have time, Iris? Yes, I finished this month's manuscript at last, with barely a day to spare before the deadline. Oh, I'm just so looking forward to it. A brand new story in the to read in the Adventures of Sherlock Holmes. You know, I always hide Hurley's violin in the days before I have a deadline. You do? I'm sure that's very wise, Iris. How sensible of you. Now then, my dear fellows, let's make a plan of action before we continue our investigation. I agree. This morning's trial. So, how did it go in court this morning? Well, we still don't know the truth about what really happened, but one thing is increasingly clear. Were these two there? I thought it was a closed... How do they know? Wait, how did he leave the... How did he just... I thought this was closed to members of the judiciary. Was he there? This seems strange. I think he's allowed. Why is Sherlock Holmes allowed? And was Iris there too? Well, we still don't know the truth about what really happened, but one thing is increasingly clear. Lord Van Zieks definitely didn't do it. Oh, goody. Yes, that's right. We managed to uncover several new facts as well. Oh, really? And there was another development too. Kazuma. Yes, it's quite clear now. That Kazuma-sama is not himself. The way he's acting, it's almost as if he's possessed. I know. I mean, at the end of the proceedings earlier, he was like a bloodhound the way he was chasing down Mr. Vigil's forgotten past. He's not normally so mercilessly persistent. What's going on in his head, I wonder? I really need to sit down with Kazuma and try to understand what he's going through. If Gregson was really murdered the day before the body was discovered, then Lord Van Zieks has to be innocent, you see. What? The day before? Well, that should be easy enough to work out, just by examining the corpse, surely. Yes, you would expect so, but curiously, we need to go fucking see that weird-ass kid that was with Dr. Scythe. No time of death was included in the autopsy report. That is curious. There are still unanswered questions about Lord Van Zieks, though, aren't there? Do you mean... I mean, what was he doing there on Fresno Street that day in the first place? Well, according to the man's testimony, he said he was investigating Inspector Gregson, but he didn't explain who put him in charge of that and why. Although I can think of who it was. And it turns out that this little room was actually the inspector's secret office. Oh, that sounds like it has all the makings of a wonderfully devilish plot. But then why was that notice board in there, all covered in those particular papers? Papers with cases with a link to the Reaper. I'm starting to get a bad feeling about all of this. Oh dear, that sounds more like something horribly devilish. Almost like Gregson. If there's somebody that was allowed to pretend to be Gregson, if there's somebody that was allowed to pretend to be Gregson, and there were times where Gregson went AFK, couldn't he also just be the Reaper? Oh god, because you were having somebody else impersonate you? And the people are usually guilty members of the... You see what I'm saying? You see what I'm thinking? You get what I'm thinking? Who would be the best in position to get away with the Reaper murders? Why did that dude earlier in the game explode in the middle of the courtroom? Do you remember the dude, the con artist or the mob boss that exploded in the fucking courtroom? Who has access to making things explode in the courtroom? And who would have the power to cover it all up? You know what? You know what? You know what? It's just like that case. It's just like that case.
Disputable that as the diamond overseeing Earth, Pink was Rose Quartz's enemy.
Right.
Rose had everything to gain by shattering her.
Right, exactly.
But even though she may have wanted to shatter Pink Diamond,
right, exactly.
could she?
Right.
Blue Diamond, for the purpose of this argument,
right.
May I present your palanquin?
Yeah, let's see the palanquin.
Is this necessary?
Right, exactly. Because
Please,
why
proceed.
the palanquin? That's what the dude in the first case blew up in, right?
Now, as the records show, Pink Diamond was shattered just
right.
outside a palanquin.
Dude went inside the,
much like this. Witnesses said Pink had stepped out and had taken only a few steps forward when Rose attacked her from the front.
And it blew up. Yep, yeah, exactly, yes.
The question no one seems to be asking is, how?
I've been asking that question.
Yeah, how did it blow up? Why did we just leave it behind? What are they talking about? What do you mean it blew up suddenly? Did we ever get Did we ever get confirmation on how that even happened? Did we? Did we ever follow up on that? I don't know if we did.
And right, you are to ask, my diamond, because at the time that Pink was shattered, Rose Quartz had been a recognized threat for several hundred years.
Wait, what? Third Case Fire was the culprit from Case 5. Can you look at the number of likes?
Someone with her. Someone she would listen to when asked to stop her palanquin and step outside. And someone with the authority to cover it up afterwards. Someone with supreme authority.
Someone like Inspector Gregson! I knew it. I knew it. Let's not be hasty. Now when I look it up off stream and pretend like I don't know the answers and confirm my suspicion, you're all gonna be sorry. I'm not gonna do that. We should start we should start looking at those movements of his. Yeah, Bregton's movements. Yeah, let's think about that one. I never imagined I might have to be investigating the inspector's movements. Well, according to his entry in his diary, he was carrying out an incognito investigation of the Red-Headed League the day before his death. Do we know any convicts that have red hair? You mean he was doing the same as Hurley? Well, Sholmes was trying to apply, whereas the inspector was supposed to be investigating. I do wish it was the other way around. Anyway, as it turns out, the inspector who went to investigate the Red-Headed League that day Wasn't actually Gregson at all. It was Mr. Vigil in possession of Gregson's identification. You know what that sounds like to me? Establishing an alibi. Oh my. Yes, you're absolutely right, Iris. But why would Gregson need an alibi? It would appear that the inspector has something to do that he wished to keep a secret. I always thought he was just a harmless lover of fish and chips. I wonder if they designed this game to where you're supposed to be like suspecting him of being the Reaper. But perhaps they were seasoning with something a little bit more potent than salt and vinegar. The person who highlights the words is such a fucking troll. Let me write this down. Seasoned. 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 Oh, yes. Seasoned. Yes. What? If Lord Van Zieks felt the need to investigate Gregson, did Strongheart think that Gregson Gregson! Gregson! No, you didn't. Okay, hold on. Vigil, you say? Is that the name of the lady who came to visit Hurley yesterday? Yes, that's right. To ask Mr. Sholmes if he would help, or he would help her find her missing husband. Only Mr. Sholmes completely passed the buck on to us. Actually, didn't you say that Mr. Vigil had been taken to the hospital? Do you know which one? It's Sinners. Oh no. I'm starting to wonder if all the other hospitals in London have closed down. But that's amazing, Runo. You found a lady's husband already. Well, I suppose I have, by accident. And 10 years ago, while Mr. Vigil was the chief warder at the prison, he was responsible for overseeing the professor's incarceration. No. So when the combat escaped, he was held responsible and immediately dismissed. Ugh. Sometimes I really don't want to grow up. There's more. For 10 years after that, while he was ostensibly working as a peddler, he also had another secret job. He was paid by Gregson to be a stand-in, to impersonate the inspector. Should we be telling Iris this? To impersonate Gregsy? But why? I have absolutely no idea. Ugh, Ginny was right. I'm starting to think all adults are up to no good now. Including you, Runo. I haven't paid anyone to impersonate me. That means he has ties to the professor and to Gregson, though. So I do think we ought to pay a visit to Mr. Vigil, don't you? Back to Sinners it is, then. Well, I think it's clear what we need to do, isn't it? Let's investigate, my dear fellows. Oh, Iris. You're even more enthusiastic than usual today. If anyone has anything to hide, my special Wilson shooting iron will set them straight. That water pistol? It's stuffed full of a piping hot extra special blend of mine. Okay, well thanks for the gun. Siege when she heals you? Oh god, where do we go first? Okay, we'll do one thing. I seriously want to go see the Chief Justice. But I said I was gonna see what Van Zieks was up to. Fine, I will do... I'll do prison. Lord Van Zieks is reading, look. He doesn't seem like he wants visitors, does he? But he must have noticed that we were here, surely. What do you Japanese want? What the fuck? I ought to fucking take that candle and fucking burn your fucking scalp off. How's about I do that? Stop being fucking mean to me. Do you know how much I had to go through yesterday with your fucking bitch ass? Like, seriously. Like, like, are you joking? That's no way to greet the lawyer who's trying his hardest to prove your innocence, is it? Perhaps not. Yeah. I apologize. So what can I do for you? Yeah, you fucking better apologize. Sorry, the racism jumped out. My bad. Lord Van Zieks, speaking earnestly. Oh, the fog will lift over London for a time. For the first time in months tomorrow. This does feel very strange. I must say, I was impressed. Oh, well, thank you. Not by you, but your fellow Nepalese. Your prosecutor friend. Oh, I see, yes. It's sardonic, don't you think? For a man such as me, so self-loathing, or so loathing of the Nepalese, to be entirely at the mercy of you two. I suppose it's retribution for having played the part of the Reaper for all those years. Honestly, and another thing that kind of like makes me think about him being the Gregson being the Reaper is that wouldn't that just kind of make this whole thing more poetic and awful? Perhaps Van Zieks, he was a completely different man before his brother died, right? Like, bright-eyed and bushy-tailed and really, like, you know, excited and happy, right? This was found in Gregson's office, right? Maybe one would think about how it affected Van Zieks, sure, right? But how did it affect him? That's something that I think we haven't posed the question about, right? How this death affected him. Couldn't it have caused the Reaper to appear? Because that's around the time that the Reaper started showing up, right? So maybe his ghost wasn't exactly his brother, but it was. I don't know. I don't know. Especially if you think about the circumstances, right? But the professor was killing aristocrats, right? Some people believed in it. Some people supported it, right? He died as a result, right? Maybe this guy kind of felt like... Maybe these two kind of feel similarly about the people that get away and also agree that the justice system is flawed and they fucking hate it, right? And maybe because they think the justice system is flawed, I don't know, maybe he felt like he had to take things into his own hands. Especially because he had 10 years of some guy doing his work for him, right? Guys, am I supposed to be suspecting him so bad right now? I don't know. Who didn't die, by the way? Who hasn't died? It was Soseki. Soseki didn't die. Who else? Gina didn't die. Who else? I guess Scythe isn't dead? No. And what's his name? Albert, whatever his name is. Okay. I gotta think about this one. I also could possibly think that, like, if the Harebrained, yeah. I could also think if the Reaper as a presence was an overall benefit to society because it kept criminals in check, right? Doesn't it also stand to reason that, like, the Reaper could have been sponsored by somebody else that was kind of like facilitating the crime, right? So maybe he didn't actually want to do it, right? Maybe he was actually kind of like, I don't know, coerced into doing it. And I think that, like, potentially because he had such a strong tie to Gina, right? And maybe Strongheart, like, threatened her. Maybe he kind of had to, maybe his hands were tied, you know? So we have to think about that. Anyway. Played the part. You don't want to talk about any of those? You guys don't want to talk about any of these, huh? Yeah, okay. Never mind. You once told me that you gladly allowed people to believe that you were the Reaper because it helped reduce the amount of crimes, serious crime that took place in London. Right? That's what I was just saying. If we keep playing quiet and playing the part that benefits the cause, a cause I myself am committed to pursuing, then why would I choose to say anything? But henchmen of a criminal killed by the Reaper attacked you only the other day, and that was just the most recent of many attempts in your life, wasn't it? Someone is clearly profiting from your silence about all of this. Someone is using you. That's what I was fucking saying. Oh my god. Are you using all of us? One's dead. One's carrying it out, and the other is taking the blame for it. Believe me, ever since the Reaper first appeared, I've been doing my utmost to expose him. Or rather, expose the organization. It's a whole organization. It's inconceivable that all those accidents were orchestrated by one man. No, the Reaper always appears to have very accurate information about the accused in each case, which can only mean that it's somebody in the judiciary. Somebody at Scotland Yard is involved. That's what I'm saying! Like, that's what I was just saying. Someone at I mean, yeah. It's taken me many years, but I finally identified the central figure in this Reaper organization. Okay, so maybe I should just shut up and just, you know, play the game and not say anything. How's about that? Gregson the Reaper? Well, that's what I was saying. Gregson's secret. So, the reason you were investigating Inspector Gregson is because... When did I pick up on this? I gotta watch these bots to find out when I picked up on this. What did I start thinking about this? So the reason you were investigating Inspector Gregson is because you intended to expose him as the Reaper. As I said, the Reaper of the Bailey is no single person. It's a highly secret organization with close ties to the Yard. When you were talking about Vigil impersonating as Gregson. Yes, because my next line of logic... Yes, because my next line of logic was, so what were you doing then? During those times where you were MIA, right? Right? Isn't it nice how, like, information, like, breeds theories? Isn't that nice? I love how this game... Ace Attorney is such a good game. I get why these take a long time, but like, isn't it interesting how, like, these inanimate objects and these people just get, like, completely recontextualized based on, like, new stuff that you learn? Isn't it nice, like, how that keeps happening? And they do such a good job at it. So many, like, unambiguous things, like, suddenly become, like, like, stars in a solar system. What? There's no doubt that Gregson was a key member of that organization. I don't believe it. Are you saying that Gregsy, he was behind all those awful criminals beating their... Gregson didn't do the dirty work himself. Oh? He was the tactician. His job was to covertly investigate the marks and plot their assassinations. In order to do that without arousing suspicion, he regularly needed a firm alibi, which is where Mr. Vigil came in, posing as the inspector. That's what I was saying. Vigil knows nothing of the Reaper, but the room he rents on Fresno Street was almost certainly the headquarters of the operation. Gregson would have met the assassin there for briefings. So we don't actually know who carried out the killings then. Oh my god, so could the assassin have killed Gregson? Oh my god! Ah! Oh my god. Okay, because again, this all goes back to her, okay? She was proven innocent, and therefore she was a target, okay? It was entirely plausible for Gina to have died, but Gina had a like, because of what Sholmes did to connect the two, all right, together, right? Like, she was very meaningful to him, right? So she's like perfect leverage. She's like perfect leverage. That had to have been what, like, exacerbated the situation and got him killed, right? Because wasn't he thinking about getting her out of the country or something, or him leaving? Maybe him trying to leave the country or something was what, like, broke the, like, what's the straw that broke the camel's back? You know what I mean? Because he was going to escape and go to Paris or something. It's all coming together. Actually, I do have a name. A name? You do? If I can name the woman. Asa Shin. Asa Shin. Assassin? Assassin? What kind of stupid ass name is that? Isn't that the... what the fuck is... What's that one? Oh my god. It's attorney names. Oh my god. What's that fucking meme? Oh my god. A's attorney. Trust in me. Alibi your guide. That's Arabelle. Pare Zalat. Oh my god. So funny. Oh my god. Parents naming their kids Carmen Accidenti. Right. I see. Oh my god. Asa Shin. It's not the girl from before. Isn't Shin the woman from before that killed somebody? Iris's father? I mean... She came back to Japan, posing as a visiting student, and murdered Dr. John H. Wilson. Then, just when it seemed that diplomatic protection would help her escape Japan and conviction, the mysterious woman herself was herself murdered in a small beach hut. No, that doesn't make sense. Mr. Naruhado, this perhaps isn't the place to discuss. No, of course not. We can't mention it here. The fact that she killed Dr. John H. Wilson. Girl, aren't your thoughts, like, very easily readable? Shut up! Kazuma, isn't it? Kazuma Asogi. You say he's a friend of yours. My best friend. He's the whole reason I got to come to Great Britain. It was all on his merits. I have nothing but respect for him. Yes, I understand that only the very best students are selected for such opportunities. And I had a fine demonstration of how sharp he is in the proceedings earlier today. He missed nothing. In fact, his flawless performance very much reminded me of his father. Genshin Asogi, the professor. It's true that the aristocrat... Not again. Aristocracy, at the time, was the root of numerous grave societal problems. They were abusing their power, playing with the common man as pawns in politics and economics and war. In many ways, Isogi was carving out a canker from society that we British couldn't deal with ourselves. I see. But that's precisely why it makes no sense. Clint Van Zieks was a noble and upstanding man. He wasn't corrupt. Why did that damn Nepalese have to go and take my brother's life? In spite of having once saved mine. He saved your life? How did that happen? It was 10 years ago, on a foggy night. What was to be the professor's final strike had sent a wave of panic through the capital, so Clint Van Zieks had already been killed at this point then. Genshin and I were walking down some back streets at a late hour. Of course, at that point, I had no idea of the true nature of the man at my side. All of a sudden... Don't make a peep, you're coming with us. Whoa, what? We were surrounded. All of our assailants were armed with pistols and their faces obscured by scars. Clint was not only from noble heritage, he was a brilliant prosecutor as well. The scum of London hated the sight of him, and I had no sympathy for his younger brother either. I've been targeted several times before already. Yeah, it's Van Zieks, alright. We got him. I could hear them murmuring amongst themselves. I knew they were after me, but just when I thought my time had come. If I let them kill you, Clint would never forgive me. And it was Isogi's voice, just a whisper in my ear. Oh! After that, I don't remember exactly what happened. The next thing I knew, there was silence all around. Genshin lay on the cobbled street. Blood was seeping from his left hand. He shielded me. 2 days later, they arrested him, on suspicion of being London's most notorious mass murderer ever, the Professor. How awful for you. All at once, I lost my brother that I revered and the foreign friend I held in such high regard. I'm so sorry, Lord Van Zieks. Well, we also have to think about, like, was Genshin actually guilty? That's the end of my miserable tale. I never thought I'd recount it to anyone. Well, thank you for confiding in me. The Professor, the Reaper, and Inspector Gregson. I wonder just how intimately related they all are. I can't quite believe that Gregson was essentially the Reaper, giving assassination orders to Giselle Brett. Mr. Naruhito, let's go and inform my father. If that's true, you know what that means, right? So why did her dad die? Why did you kill him? For what? Why was that an order? What did he do? Didn't these two work together? So Gregson, are you the reason why Iris's father is dead? Is that why you were so nice to her? Oh my. All right, that's a good stopping point. He just fucking lied to me. He just fucking lied to me. He just lied to me. All that dude did was just fucking lie to me and everybody else. He's a fucking liar. I mean, okay, maybe he's not. But like, it's probably what that's, you know what? That's probably why he was so like smitten to, I almost called her Linksha. That's probably why he was so smitten to Gina as well, because he couldn't have that shit happen again. He couldn't. You know what? I don't know. I don't know, y'all. It's getting dramatic. Are we all kind of like huddled around this tea? This is insane. What's going on? Wait, why are we? We're all like, oh. Like, why are we all gagged? Wait, hold on. Like, we're all interested. I'm gonna play Genshin, but I really want to play like one game of Lucio, so I'm gonna do that one. Like, I'm literally gonna play one game of Lucio, and then I'm gonna play Genshin.